Before we start the story, all are well conversant with different phases of Baba's ministry, his activities as I call them. He worked with the mad, he worked with the poor, the lepers, the needy, the masts. But then, not much has been said about his work with families who were in great need of monetary help. On many occasions, Baba went out to different places with bundles of grain and cloth, money, and gave each a gift, you see, from him. But the most important work that he did with the families who were in great need of monetary help is not mentioned in greater details anywhere. And it was the most difficult task, you see, to find such families. Nobody would want to just approach a family, you see, and ask the family whether you are in need of any money or anything of the sort. It's very embarrassing for the person who puts the question, very embarrassing for the person who would answer. It's not proper for anybody to approach such families. So with great discretion, being very discreet, we had to approach these people. And Baba's terms were quite different. Baba didn't want to give money at the time or help, any sort of help to anybody. He wanted us to select certain families who were in great need, and those were the families who wouldn't put forth their hand to receive anything, although they were in great need. So Baba went out on long journeys in India, taking some of us trying to find out such families. And he spent a lot of money in giving out gifts. So while we were in this phase of his work and activities, he had returned to Hyderabad one day, and he was sitting in the cabin there. You know, the cabin that is there at Lower Meherabad with the emblems of the cross and the fire of the Zoroastrians and this crescent of the Mohammedans. So that was the cabin which was used for giving audience to the people at that time. So Baba was there and I was by his side, interpreting his gestures on the board, I think. And one Irani walked inside, and he fell at Baba's feet and he wept as if something was there. I don't know what it was all about. Everything internal, we don't know. And Baba comforted him, kept him there by his side for some time. He attended to others there who had come. And the time when he wanted to depart, he just put his hand in his pocket and brought out a big packet of currency notes, sealed, and offered it to Baba. Baba said, "What's it?" He says, "Baba, it's just an offering. Please accept it." He says, "No, take it away, take it away." He gestured. Take it. So I was the one who interpreted. And he says, he again wept. He says, "This is just a humble offering. Please do accept it." And he wouldn't accept that. Sometimes Baba accepted gifts, sometimes he refused from some person. And there were times when he would ask for them from the ones whom he wanted. See? Little bit of digression here is nice and humorous. My sister died. And my uncle sent a telegram to Baba saying that Er's sister Meheru died. So Baba says, "It's a very happy news." He tells me to send a telegram to my uncle. "It's a very happy news, and for this news, I want you to send 5,000 rupees so that we can travel back to Meherabad." We were in Dehradun at the time. So likewise, he would ask people. Likewise, sometimes people offered, he would accept. And quite often, he would even refuse to accept. So one of the cases was where he refused. But he insisted, that Irani insisted that Baba should accept it. Eventually it so happened that Baba then told me to take the packet. He says, "Give this packet to him." So that Irani offered the packet to me. And Baba directed me in his presence to give this gift to one poor family who is in need, real need. I said, any family you have in mind, Baba? He says, no, you'll come to know about it. So I was carrying that burden with me all the time, not knowing when it would be so. And I was not accustomed to carrying money when I was with Baba. So it was a great burden for me to have the packet all the time with me. For quite a long time I was having that packet with me. One day Baba sent me out to Poona for some work. And when I was doing his work there, it was summer month, very hot in the afternoon, and I felt like having a cool drink. And the kind that we can have it was just sugarcane juice, You get a glass of sugarcane juice, cubes of ice are mixed, you see, to make it cool. So I was sipping that in a shop, taking some rest. Just then there was a loud conversation at the counter between two people, the owner of the shop and a customer who had come.
This was in Poona?
It was in Poona. And the conversation, you see, I was hearing, it was but natural when they were talking loudly, I could hear it. And I had no other engagement, so I just paid attention and I heard. And the conversation drifted to the needs of the people. How there is injustice and and God does not even intervene. There is an honest man working, holding a very high position because of his honesty, because he wouldn't succumb to graft and all that. He's demoted. And he is at present serving as a peon. Peon means that an attendant, There's a British word where a person carries file from one officer to another officer.
Errand boy.
What do you call it in the States?
Office boy.
Office boy, yeah. And from there he is shunted to a remote place where he has to stop the carts and the trucks carrying grain or food or anything like that, and inform the octroi people there to collect taxes. So he's just like an ordinary errand boy or something like that. But he was elderly. He cannot be called a boy also. So I am overhearing this conversation, and it says, what's the matter with this world? How can we now live in this world? There's not even any intervention from God, you see. And this is how honesty is repaid. I was interested in this. I said, that's very good to unburden myself. And he said that he has a large family there to support, and there's no money. And they were of middle class and not poor lot, you see. He was an officer. So after the man left, I went to the counter and asked the proprietor, the owner of the shop, I said, do you know this family of whom you were talking about? He says, yes. What is it? Why do you inquire about that family? Just curiosity. I would like to do something for the family. He gave me the address. It says, it's not here. You have to go out some 50 miles from Poona. So I said, all right, I'll go out. And that's the place where there is that one of the biggest dams, you see, highest dams, called the Lloyd's Dam. And the place name is Bhor. So I went there in bus. And I went to the house, the address I had, and there I could find the women folk. The lady of the house was there, in all tattered clothes. Grown-up daughters were there. No sooner they saw me, you see, they were frightened. Because those were the days when Baba gave us the khaki dresses to wear, khaki shirt and pant. And khaki meant some army officer or something to do with the army or recruitment or some enforcement on the public or something like that. So they were very much frightened, you see, to see me at that doorpost with a solar hat and all that. I said, where's this person? He says, why do you want him? He says, no, I don't want him. I just want to see him, have a talk with him. He says, what do you want? Don't harass us. We have done nothing. I said, no, The thing is that I have heard that you all are in need of some financial aid or anything. My brother has sent some aid and he wants this. But do you know him? I said, yes, I know him. Just to pacify them, comfort them, I said. Because I had overheard all the history, so I was not wrong in saying that I know him. So I said, yes, I know him, I knew him. So he says, but he is there at the outpost there, some miles away, and he'll be returning in the evening, very late. He has to walk the distance, and then she bemoaned, you see, her fate and all that. I said, have comfort. So promise me that you'll keep the old man there the next day. I'll come specially for the meeting from Poona. So she asked me, so what do you want to give us? I said, some cash that my brother has sent. She said, but we are unable to pay the interest on it. We won't be able to return it. Please don't do that. Allow us to die in starvation or anything, but the burden of interest and the burden of loans is so heavy on our heads, it's impossible for us. It's out of control now. Nothing can be done. So please don't give us any more temptation of such a type. I said, it's nothing to do with interest or any loan. It's a direct gift from my brother. So she promised to keep the man there the next day. I left the place. I went back to Poona. I was all the while thinking that the house seems to be the right house. The family is the right family to be helped and so forth. Now, let me digress a little bit. Whenever Baba went out doing this work, or whenever he gave gifts of bundles of cloth or grain or money or anything, it was customary with Baba to wash the feet of the people who were helped by him. It was customary with Baba to clean their feet after being washed, you see, dry, make them dry. And the water in winter would be lukewarm or warm water used. In summer months, fresh, cool water would be used. And he would bathe the feet of the people, make them clean. Then he would put his forehead on their feet. And then he would accept from our hands, who were the aids, the bundle, and then just lift them up. He would be squatting on the earth, you see, and they will be made to stand on a platform, nice platform there, and he would look up to them. And there would be somebody interpreting his gestures. So Baba would very lovingly and sweetly implore the person to accept it with the words, please accept this gift of God and oblige, would be the words all the time with every individual. Please do accept this gift and oblige, like that.
Gift of God.
Sometimes you do use the word, often you would use the word gift of God and oblige. So that's how it was. Now, in the case where Baba is not present and the gift comes from Baba, naturally God himself. So what he would do in proxy. So he had done the same thing there in the cabin at the time. After the Irani gentleman left, he had bowed down, put his forehead on my feet there, you see, and asked me to convey the same thing there. So it took months, but it was there. The stamp was there of his gift. So I said, this will be the procedure to be followed. So I thought of it. I didn't know whether the man would accept such a thing, because they were very hesitant to allow anybody to wash their feet and then bow down and then offer the gift. All these were the hurdles, you see, for this work. Nobody would want anybody to touch the feet, you see, with the forehead like that, and then give the gift and accept the gift. So I went the next day, and then I met the man. The man again implored me not to give anything if there is any expectation of any interest or anything. I said, nothing doing. I don't even want to give you anything, give in writing anything, or you shouldn't give me anything in writing. It's nothing. It's just an outright gift. So he eventually accepted the fact, and I said, please bring some water. So he thought that I was very thirsty. So he asked his wife to get some water, you see. Then I poured the water without any pre-intimation, because I knew he might hesitate. So he says, what are you doing? I said, please hold on for some moments. So I just did that chore, of washing his feet and drying. I'd carried a napkin with me and then put my forehead over it. And I said, please accept this gift of God and oblige. And I offered him. He says, what is it? I said, it's 500 rupees that my elder brother has sent as a gift to you. And he said his eyes watered. He began to weep. He took me aside, you see, and he says, God is indeed merciful. He is compassionate. Had you come a day late, had not my wife told me about it, you wouldn't have seen me alive. Because on my way back, I had determined to commit suicide. It was impossible. Maybe my family and my daughters who are grown up would have committed the same thing. And we would have all ended up, wound up our life on earth. And those were the days when 500 rupees were not a small amount. You see. It was a very big amount. So that's the story. It was just at the time. I went and reported it to Baba, and Baba was very happy with this. Very happy. There's another story. You know, there were many such families that were visited. Many, many. But there are certain glaring instances, you see, they just remain so fresh and live in my memory because of the spontaneity of his gift and the expression of his compassion at the right moment. Yes. So that's how it is that I remember these things. Otherwise we just forget. Baba never asked us to keep any record of it. He wouldn't permit us to have a diary of the person's names or the places or anything of the sort. Nothing of the sort was maintained. And expressly he had asked us to forget about these things. I must be very frank about these stories. Baba had told us at the time that we should not remember about it. We should never remember these things. Just forget about it. But now that era has passed. And we have to relive the days that we spent with Baba. So it comes under that category and not under the category of what Baba did for others. As I have been telling people, you see, Baba was observing silence. That means he never spoke a word, but there was also the silence of his actions, which is not recorded properly. The acts of charity, forgiveness, were so many that it just overwhelmed those who were an eyewitness to what he did. And all in silence. As Baba would say that when the right hand gives, the left hand should not know of it.
How can you record silence?
But it can haunt us still. Yeah. So another very beautiful instance, so fresh in my mind, is of the family. We were in search of these families. And Baba would go long distances with great hardships, traveling in third-class compartments, bullock carts, or on foot, wandering in the streets of various towns and cities and villages, wherever there was any clue given about such families. And there was one family we came across, and that too accidentally. Baba was in Madras at the time. And after the morning hunt for the musts and for these families, you see, Baba expressed a desire to have water, to drink. And we stood at the corner of the street there, and the little that we could do for Baba is not to have a good sort of drink, you see, aerated water or anything. What he liked, coconut milk. You know. Water, we call it fresh coconut water. So panwalas, you know, are famous in India where they sell pan and cigarettes and tobacco. There is that booth, you know. So they in Madras keep these fresh coconuts also to be served to the public who want fresh water. So when Baba expressed a desire to have water, so we stopped at a corner, and I approached a panwala shop, and I was trying to get the water for Baba. And you have to dress the coconut poke a hole in it and then offer it to the person who wants to drink it. So Baba used to drink it like that. So while he was doing it, there was another conversation that was going on loudly about a certain person. Yes. Again the same conversation would be there. Same theme would be repeated. How a person is duped, how tragedy can be in the house, you see, that could never foresee such circumstance. So the story is that we overheard at the time that there was a certain wealthy businessman who was doing very well in his business, and he had earned and amassed some wealth, and he wanted to have a big building built. So he gave a contract to a contractor to build a building, a house for him and his family. So the building was under construction, nearing completion now. He spent a lot of thousands of rupees over it. And all of a sudden something happened in the business. It collapsed. He couldn't pay the contractor's fees and the money for the material that was used and all that. Eventually it so happened that it reduced him to such poverty that he had no house of his own to live in, and the contractor became the owner of the building. And he was a man who didn't want to go in for litigation or anything of the sort, so his family and he had no house to live now. And they were just not...
This place that he was building was a very
beautiful building.
Ornate.
Yeah, ornate and everything. A good mansion. It was a mansion that he had built. Now what happened is that they were talking about all these things, and they were saying how they were talking about the traits of the contractor, they were talking about the traits of people, and many things come in the conversations. So all what we wanted was this. So halfway through the conversation, the man dressed the coconut and I went across the street and offered it to Baba. But Baba was also overhearing this conversation, so instead of allowing me to stand there and wait, he says, hurry up and overhear everything you see that you hear and get the address. So I went back, and the man, by that, after some time, he finished off his talk and he was busy with his other customers and all. I interjected, I said, will you be able to give me the address of this family who's reduced to such poverty? Do you know his name? He says, yes, I know him. Very good person, very good family. So where is the family? In Madras? He says, no, it's about 75 to 80 miles away from here. I said, can we go by train or is the bus service? He says, both bus and train are there. You can go there, it's about 80 miles. If you go now, then he looked at his clock and he says, yes, there is time for the train. Why do you want to go to him? Do you know this man? I said, no, we don't know. We just overheard. So what makes you go to him? I said, well, you know, my elder brother who is standing there, he overheard your conversation and he felt like offering some help to the family. So this is very good. He was very happy about it. And he gave me the full address and everything. So immediately we took for the railway station. We went to the railway station, boarded the train that was due to go there, and we reached the place. It was now late afternoon. And I told Baba to sit on the platform, and there were two or three Mandali people there.
Station platform?
Railway station platform. And I went alone. I told Baba to wait instead of going about places, you see, till I find the place. So I went there, and particularly so because it was a Diwali day. It was what you call the festival of lights. You see, in India, Diwali is considered to be a great day, and there's a lot of overcrowding in the streets, and people make merry, you know, and every house must have a light. It means it's all illumined, you know. And though if there is no electricity, then there are oil lamps. Even if there is electricity, you know, they light the whole place with little lamps, flames and all that.
Poona's house would have it.
Everybody must have even at least a single light. So I thought it's not good, and the firecrackers and all that. So I thought it would be best not to take Baba roaming about places and streets and all that on that day. And Baba agreed that, and I went out in search of the family. So I went where the address was given, and there the address was given. And I approached to see it was a big mansion, and I looked at the place, the number was all right, everything perfect. I again inquired, and then I knocked at the door. I was rather diffident about putting this question, you see. Looking at the place, I thought maybe he might be living out somewhere in the outquarters there or somewhere, we don't know. So the man came out. I knocked at the door, and the person owning the house came out. He asked me what I wanted. I said, I am in search of a person by this name. Who is this person? Where is he? Can I find him? Here, the address is given. I am the person. Yes, what can I do for you? And he had all these, what do you call these? Studs and all gold, and diamond ring and all. I said, well, what can I do? And I couldn't find words to ask or say anything to him. I was very much embarrassed, I said, I want this person. He said, but I am the same person. Yes, my name is that. And, no, but I said, is this the house, the address that I am given? He said, yes, this is the house. I am the same person. So, what do you want? I said, I'm so sorry to have bothered you here. I think I didn't get the information that I wanted from the person who gave me this information. But what's the purpose? What do you want? I said, I'm in search of a person who was in great need of some help. And he's reduced to poverty. He was a wealthy person first. And my elder brother who has come from Bombay, he wanted to contact him. He says, no, there's no such person. By the grace of God, we are all healthy and well provided for, you see this. All right, I said, I'm so sorry to have bothered you. Just as I was about to take a turn and leave the place, a boy comes out of the same house, you see, about 10 or 11 years old, and he says, but I know the man you are talking about. I will lead you to the person. And the man, you see, was not pleased with what the boy had interjected there at that moment. And he was talking in his vernacular southern language, And I could see that he was absolutely displeased with the boy offering to lead me to the house. So I thanked the boy and I encouraged him in between, you see. I said, I'll be very grateful. Please do come with me. In South, most of them speak English. Although we don't understand their vernacular language, but it's a great help. Most of them speak English. Even the laborers and coolies, they know little English. So he came out. On his own he came out. He was a very bold lad, I should say. And the man was his father. Father didn't like the idea at all. So I asked the boy, did he know the man? He says, yes. He said, my father and the man have the same names. And that's why there is this mistake, you see. And I said, do you know that man? He says, yes, this is the building of the man. He was the one who was erecting the building, but because he couldn't pay, then he then handed over the building to my father, and that's why we live here. You see, the innocence of the boy just spoke out everything. The whole story was so clear there. So I said, yes, I am in search of the man. He says, come on, I'll take you. So he went out, winding his way through the lanes and by lanes and all that, and he came to a place, and from a distance he says, that's the house where he lives now. Formerly he was here, but then now he has shifted there. So I went. So which house? There are so many houses. In a line there were so many, what do you call these? In a block there were so many rooms like that. So which room? This is the room where there is no light. Oh, I see. That's good. Thank you, I said. I thanked him profusely. Patted him and all that. And I went there. And the door was open. It was just a room like this.
The only lamp, there was no light.
No light.
The rest
No
were
light.
all...
Yeah, the rest were all lit. The streets were lit and firecrackers and everything was there as usual on that day. So I went and stopped there. I couldn't step inside. What do I find as soon as I approached there? There was nothing, it was not furnished or anything of the sort. It was dark. But still I could see in the darkness. And what was there? A huge case, you see, of glass and teak wood. And in it was a life-size statue of Lord Krishna. And there was a grown-up, a young lady, you see, there, grown-up girl, who was offering up prayers and supplicating and bowing down and kneeling and all that. And I didn't like to disturb her. She was worshipping the Lord. And I didn't like to disturb her. So I waited and waited and waited. But all of a sudden I remembered that the Lord is waiting there. How can I wait here? So eventually I knocked at the door, you see, and she turned back abruptly, thinking that she was interrupted. Who is the person who is intruding now? So I said, I'm so sorry to disturb you in your worship of the Lord. Is this the house? Is the man here? So come inside. Yes, this is the house where my father lives. Where is he? Says, I was right inside. Says, here on your right. So I turned and he was lying on the floor. Here's my mother. Both are ailing. I am the only one left here. I said, you have no light for me to see. He says, we are sorry. We have no light today because we haven't any means now left. We are reduced to poverty. What do you want? Do you know my father? He says, I personally don't know him, but there is a gentleman, my elder brother, who's waiting at the station. He asked me to find out the whereabouts. He must be knowing him. That's why he has sent me. He says, where is he? I said, at the station. And he wants to see your father. Will you promise me to be here in the house when I bring my brother? It will take me about 3/4 of an hour to half hour at the earliest. He says, I promise you. But what do you want? What does he want of my father? He says, nothing. I don't know. But just want to greet him, be with him for some time. All right. But please don't go out of the house. Be here because there must be somebody in the house. They are both ailing. He says, I'm going to be here. So I went back hurriedly, told Baba about it and all that, what had happened. So I still remember Baba and we all came in a bullock cart tanga. Bullocks were the means, you see, bullock cart tonga. We used to have tongas, not of horses, bullock carts. Bullocks were driving the tonga. So we came nearly 3/4 of an hour and we reached the place. And there I led Baba inside. And with Baba, we had to carry all the paraphernalia of the bucket and the basin and the water also and the napkins. And everything must be there, handy for such a job. We can't just ask somewhere at some place where Baba happens to feel like giving some gift. So we shouldn't feel handicapped of no water or anything of the sort. So we had to carry all this with us. So with that paraphernalia in our sacks, we came. So I introduced Baba to that lady, and the lady pointed to the father, and then Baba sat down on the floor, and Baba says, bring the basin now, start the operation. So his feet were placed in the basin. The man sat there. He sat there. Baba asked him to lie down if he wanted to. He says, no, I would sit down. What is it? What's the matter, sir? What do you want of me? He says, it's all right. Take it easy, take it easy. And then Baba washed his feet and all that and dried them very tenderly and all that. And then Baba bent down and touched his forehead on the feet. And then Baba again the same thing. He says, please accept this. Gift of God and oblige. And immediately after this, 1,000 rupees. So immediately after that, Baba takes a turn. He will never wait there a moment after the work is done to hear anything, but I still have the shrill cry of the girl saying that, how compassionate you are, Lord. No moment is wasted. No sooner I ask you, I supplicate before you, and you are here to give the gift. She went rolling to the feet of the Lord. So I could just turn back the statue, yes. And still the words are ringing in my ears. Oh, how compassionate you are, Lord. No moment I asked you for it, and you are there to give us. And nobody knows who the Lord is. She, of course, worships the statue when the Lord himself visits the house and leaves the house. So such were the instances.
But her worship brought him.
Yes, of course.
That she was a Soviet representation.
In our wanderings, you see, we were brought from from the Tamil Nadu state, which is now Tamil Nadu, from the province of Madras. We come back here to the Deccan side, Our wanderings are taking place there. We have been to Calcutta. We have been right in the midst of the what you call famine-stricken people, in Bagalkot and other places. There, Baba goes in the midst of the crowd. He collects the people over there, he feeds them, he gets the food cooked and then he serves them, and many things have taken place, you see, and we are wandering, going from place to place. Now he has changed his course of wandering and is coming again towards the north, you see.
But Eruch, didn't you say that Baba's
south,
coming to the south, just to that Madras, was unexpected? It is as if he had come just to
Yes.
his family.
That's what I was saying, that from all the north he came to the south. It was not going to the north. From north we had completed all this work and we were now taking the course towards the south. So while going to the south, Baba came to Madras, a big city, you see there. And he said he would like to go there. And there at Madras we got the address. No, we had gotten down, we finished the day's work and we got the address, and then we went again to a wee bit north, you see, 80 miles, and got the family there. From there Baba changed the course and says, now let's go towards Hyderabad side. So now we go to Hyderabad, a big place here. It's now the capital of the Andhra state. Formerly there was no such state or anything. It was the kingdom of a king, you see. The Nizam it was called. So we are now again wandering in that big capital, you see, of the Nizam. That's Hyderabad. There are two twin cities called Hyderabad and Secunderabad, a close distance of 5 miles only, two big cities. So we are wandering from place to place like that, contacting the mast and people and all that, not knowing where we are going to sleep in the night or what's going to happen. We used to sleep on the railway platforms or under the trees like that. How paradoxical it is all, carrying a lot of money with us and not knowing where to sleep and where to go, not a pie to be spent for ourselves, it is all to be given out. And one little incident I remember, you see, with all this, the Lord with us gives us the option one day, just this is a digression a wee bit, to show you the state of affairs at the time when we were wandering with him. So we were hungry and thirsty, and we had gone to in the interior of a place, you see, and it is about 8 miles like this from Ahmednagar to Meheru. And we are now, say, in Pimpalgaon village somewhere here, and Baba has finished his work. And Baba says to us now, it's time for a lunch also, 2 o'clock or so, and we are very thirsty. We can have water, but water has no sustaining power, so to say. It refreshes us. But where is the stamina for us to continue like that, you see? So he says, look, decide amongst yourselves, what would you want? Would you want to go on foot and reach the city? And then we can then afford, or it will be legitimate for us not afford. We could afford luxurious hotel rooms and suites, you see, we had money for that. But you will be able to earn a glass of cool syrup water. You see?
Sharbat.
Sharbat, we call it sharbat over here. You know, this rose essence sharbat and sweet lemon water or something like that. Not aerated water or anything. Each one will have that if we go on foot. But if we have to spend money, then we can go by this bullock cart and go to that place. What do you decide? So we have an argument there and just try to talk about it, what would you like. So we were so tired. He says, well, Baba, we are tired, but then it is better that we go on foot. We were all young, but Baba was aged. We never thought of Baba, you see. So he says, well, we will walk the distance and we'll take a glass of syrup water there. So poor Baba, all that distance, you see, he walked with us. And when we went there, all that we had was just a glass of water, this plain syrup water. Yeah. What I want you all to know is, having all the money with us, you see, but we were not supposed to spend from it at all. Every pie was accounted for by Baba to be given to the ones who were in greater need. So, likewise we were now in the state, in Hyderabad itself. So at the time when we were in Hyderabad, we were wandering and going from place to place, finding whatever he wanted us to do, we did it. So there we did come across an address, you see, from a person where it is stated, well, the story is like this, that a very wealthy princely family, you see, reduced to poverty. And the status at one time of the family was such that this prince could afford to have 2 elephants. That's a sign of wealth, great riches. So he could stable 2 elephants at the gate. There were 2 elephants at the gate. And whenever he would travel in the days of the Britishers, you see, he had a spacious saloon, they call it, the carriage on the lines, he would travel in that. Having all that, you see, yet he was reduced to such poverty that there was neither a house or a hut for husband and wife who are surviving there. So that was the address. Where will we find where will we find the couple, we asked. He says, you'll have to wander, go in that city, you see. But they are in that particular locality. Baba says, we'll set out for that. So we went out from the city to the outskirts of the city. And we are wandering from one street to another, from one lane to another, the by lanes, the slum areas, trying to find, all know, but they have been changing their place, you see, because they have no place of their own. So they all knew about this episode. Yes, yes, we know that. They were here a week before. And we go from place to place. Late there, it's as late as about, say, 6 o'clock. It was still light at the time, 6 evening. So we go to a place and they say, yes, there they are there. We were very happy to have spotted the place where they are. So we enter the place. It's like a commune. All different people living there. No rooms or anything. They have the little belonging there in a corner. You have your in that corner there. Somebody is sitting there, not knowing why he's sitting there. Somebody is smoking there. It's like a commune, you see. So we approach, you see, and we ask somebody quietly, says, do you know, is the couple over here? Says, yes, the man is lying there. So Baba approached the person. Baba felt his body and it was very hot. It must be running on nearly 104-5 degrees temperature. And he was almost unconscious. So I told Baba in vernacular, I said, Baba, let us wait till the wife comes. He says, the sooner we do it, the better it is. Why should we wait for the wife? Baba tells me. I said, Baba, if something happens to the man through shock or something like that, what will happen? Because our past experience said that. It means gave us that experience because people were shocked sometimes to get all that wealth all of a sudden, you see, in their hands. So he might die, Baba, and it will be not a good thing for us. I said, never mind. It doesn't matter. Let's not wait. Let's not waste time now. Hurry up. Well, Baba's command is there. So the man is lying there almost unconscious. Just a slit there. We could see that it's there. In high fever. So we just say, brother, can you hear us? Here is your old acquaintance who has come here. He is from Bombay side. You know, he wants to give a little help to you. Just that. Could it be heard? So Baba says, hurry up now, don't waste that. Baba doesn't like all that, he says. So we just left his feet there and put him and shoved the basin under the feet of the man. And Baba squats there again, sits down there on the floor, and with his own hands washes them and makes them all clean and nice. And very tenderly, lovingly, he dries the whole thing with a new napkin and all that. And then the basin is removed from there, you see, and feet are placed there. And Baba puts his head on his feet, and again the same thing, you see. The man opens his eyes, because the water poured, and he feels a little bit fresh, and he's so helpless, he can't move his limbs also. So then Baba offers this. So in his hands, so he said, here, the gift packet. So he takes it. What is it? So it's money, please keep it safe, it's for you to spend. He just took a deep sigh, you see, and tried to get up to thank Baba. In the meantime, he collapsed. People around saw this, and he collapsed. And there were women there, they started beating their breast, you see, and said that you people have killed this man, he was so good to us, and this and that. You know how the people around us. We were caught there. We didn't know what to do. And they started wailing and crying loudly and all that why did you come here, you gave him a shock and you killed him and all that. How blessed must be that man. That Baba, I remember, Baba said, take him to a bed. There was one ordinary little broken bed was there, made out of just coir, what do you call that? Rope, coir rope, bed was there. So, vacant bed was there. So Baba and we all lifted the man and put him there on the bed there. And Baba sprinkled water on his face and we fanned and we revived him. Just in the meantime, the wife about to come, you see. And there she thought that he's dead now, because all were weeping around. So what's happened? So these people, came and the man died. Who are these people, she asked. And she started shouting at us. And she shouted like anything, She was really angry with us. And Baba stood quietly, And the man revived and says, what are you doing? He has come to help us. Here it is. And no sooner he said this, Baba took a turn and we all left the place.